Why, good morning. I just confirmed it is Thursday, September the 5th.
All day.
Yes, good stuff. Here's what we're working on this morning. Starting on this September the 5th, you'll be able to purchase alcohol from one of at least 4,000 neighborhood convenience stores.
A driver in a Tim Hortons aggressively tries to avoid arrest by Peel police.
And the NFL season is back, kicking off tonight with the defending and back-to-back Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, taking the field. Get on in here on this Thursday. What a wonderful forecast you've had for us all week, Brian.
It's been lovely.
It's been a beautiful week, hasn't it? And the temperatures have come up a little bit each and every day, and that's what will happen again today.
This is why I love September.
Yeah, September is a gorgeous month.
It's just trying to figure out, like, yeah, you have the sweater on, then you got to take it off in the afternoon, and then you can put it back on at night.
My big thing is in the morning, like, I've still got the air conditioner cranked from the day before. You get in the car and it's like, whoa! And then when I go home, it's like the heat's still on. It's like, boom!
The car's been sitting in the sun for a bit, and all of a sudden it warms up. Yeah, and that's what will happen today. Actually, this morning we're not quite as cool as we have been for the past number of days. We've had some chilly mornings. But right now we're sitting at 13 degrees. So at least we're in double digits. We're in the teens to start the morning. But we are going to climb a little bit better for the day today. We are going to hit the high 20s with a humidex value of about 29 today. So we're looking around 26, 27 for the temperature today, and then you factor in the humidity. And the humidity is going to start to build in today, and it's going to get a little hazier as the day goes on. So we should have a fair bit of sun, but it'll be hazy later on this afternoon. And then tomorrow, we're going to get showers, we're going to get thunderstorms. We could get 10 to 15 millimeters of precipitation tomorrow as it cools off a bit. We'll talk about that coming up. Looking at traffic this morning, nothing happening. 403 Waterdown Road. That's doing okay at the moment, so doing fine right there. We'll show you a couple of MTO traffic cameras. Sigh. Here's the QEW top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. I make sure the cameras are there before we go to air, and then all of a sudden they just decide they don't want to do it. So here's the Skyway top of the bridge. Yay, there's a camera that's working as well. Here's the QEW at Appleby line. So we're doing okay this morning. Hope you are as well. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes for you. Right now, the news.
All right, thanks, Brian. We actually start on the roads because there was a situation through the overnight hours. A single vehicle crash in Burlington has reportedly claimed the lives of 2 people and a dog. A freelancer tells us that it happened around 1 o'clock this morning on Guelph Line and Lowville Park Road. The passenger died at the scene while the driver was taken to hospital, where they later passed away. Our freelancer says speed was a factor in this crash. Now, roads are closed between Britannia and 8 Side Road. At this point, we reached out to Halton Police for confirmation on this and have not heard back as of yet.
Halton police have released a photo of a man who's wanted after an armed carjacking in Burlington. It was just before 2 yesterday morning. The driver of a BMW pulled into the driveway of a home near North Shore Boulevard and King Road. As they got out, a man who'd been hiding in a bush pointed a handgun at them and demanded the keys. Police say the gunman is white, about 5'9", and had a mask over his mouth.
Go to Oakville now because Halton police are asking for surveillance video from a neighborhood in Oakville after a home invasion early yesterday. This happened on Heritage Way near 3rd Line and Upper Middle Road just before 4 a.m. in the morning. A man in the house was hit in the face with a hammer before 2 masked men stole a set of keys and the SUV that was parked in the driveway.
Dramatic scene caught on video in Mississauga where the driver of a stolen SUV tried to drive over a cruiser in a tense standoff. So this happened at a Tim Hortons drive-through. Video shows a red Bronco precariously positioned on top of the cruiser, its rear wheels on the ground. Police say they were called to the drive-thru on reports that somebody who had stolen from a business had come back with weapons. A 25-year-old man is facing several charges, including fleeing from and obstructing police and dangerous operation of a vehicle.
Wow. Okay, let's bring you back to Hamilton because the Burlington Lift Bridge is set to be closed for construction work for most of the day today. So it's going to shut down the road to traffic from 9 a.m. this morning until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so that could definitely affect things. The federal government says it's for work on a major rehabilitation project. Lanes in both directions, they will be closed to vehicles. Cyclists and pedestrians can cross using available pathways. Marine traffic will not be affected. So once again, this starts at 9 a.m. this morning, lasting until 3 this afternoon. Well, starting today, people in Ontario.
You go ahead.
Okay.
Take a drink.
Take a breath, Tim. Next story. Here we go. People in Ontario will be able to buy alcohol in convenience stores as part of the government province-wide rollout plan. We got Simone Gavros on this story for us this morning. She's from the market on James in Hamilton with more on this. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Tim. Well, yes, convenience stores just like this one will be able to sell beer, wine, and ready-to-drink cocktails as of today. That starts at 7 a.m. and they'll be able to sell until 11 p.m. And you can see here all the signs that are lined up here at the market on James, letting people know that they'll be selling as of today. But there are some stores that say that they might not be ready. This one in particular, the owner tells me that they're still waiting for the fridge to be set up, so they won't have any stock on their shelves. And the Canadian Federation for Independent Businesses say that they are aware and they've heard this from others as well.
Hoping that they can see a robust selection on day one, that everyone's ready to go. We do know that there are a couple of convenience stores that have called us and said, like, hey, we're having a little bit of trouble navigating the system. I think that's early days volume. So I would say if you're a consumer and you are expecting a convenience store to have something, they don't have something day one, that doesn't mean they're not going to have anything day two or perhaps week two. It's just working out the volume as the excitement ramps up for the beginning.
Now, over 4,000 convenience stores across Ontario have been granted licenses, according to the Alcohol and Gaming Commission. In our area, there are 126 stores in Hamilton, 44 in Niagara Falls, and 55 in Burlington. So stores will be allowed to sell alcohol between the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Canadian Federation for Independent Business says that they're excited for this expansion, and owners have been working to ensure they're ready to go for today. Now, there are strict rules and severe penalties set in place by the AGCO, including when it comes to selling to minors and selling to those who are intoxicated. Selling to minors, for example, could lead to a $100,000 fine or suspension of license. Now, anyone who sells alcohol must be at least 18 years old and have valid certification, like being SmartServe certified. And when it does come to stock on the shelves, at least 20% of the beer sold will need to be from local producers, and at least 10% of wine sold must come from Ontario wineries. Now, today, this is something that's been long in the making. We last heard about this in May, about this being rolled out into convenience stores starting today on September 5th. This morning, I'll be talking to people here to get their reaction on this alcohol expansion. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much, Simone. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has broken his supply and confidence agreement with the minority Liberal government. Breaking the deal doesn't mean the government automatically falls on the next confidence vote. The New Democrats will determine how to vote on Liberal legislation on a case-by-case basis. The Liberals, as a minority government, need the support of at least one other party to pass legislation and to keep the government alive in confidence votes.
I'll let others focus on politics, but I will point out that I really hope the NDP stays focused on how we can deliver for Canadians, as we have over the past years, rather than focusing on politics.
Always impossible.
And Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has called Singh's move a media stunt. So, what happens next? With some insight, we say good morning to political analyst Keith Leslie. Thanks for joining us, Keith.
Good morning.
So first of all, I wanted to, Jagmeet Singh made this announcement, a surprise announcement, on social media. What do you think of that as opposed to holding a news conference where questions would actually be asked?
Well, I guess we have to wait till today for him to actually hold a news conference. He dropped this political bombshell, as you say, without any recourse for people to ask questions about it. And there are a heck of a lot of questions about it. For example, do you really want an election at this point, which apparently they don't. So I think his timing on this was basically to get 2 days of news cycle out of it by announcing it one day and, blowing up the political cycle out of Ottawa, and then having his news conference. So he's going to get 2 full days out of it instead of just one. So I think that was a reason for not having a news conference yesterday. But this political bombshell bombshell really woke up Ottawa and has everyone thinking, could an election come earlier? We're not sure at this point.
Mm-hmm. Give me some examples of a possible vote or a possible decision that could lead to a confidence vote.
Well, of course, the first one that we would expect would be the fall economic statement, which would come late October, early November. That's automatically a confidence vote. But I suspect that Progressive Conservatives and Pierre Poilievre are preparing a non-confidence vote right now that uses Jagmeet Singh's words from yesterday about how the government is, beholden to corporations and is weak, and say, therefore, the House has no confidence in this government. So I suspect the PCs will try to move a non-confidence motion much earlier, but I don't think the NDP are prepared for an election yet, and so I think they'll continue to support the government on a case-by-case basis, at least until next spring.
What do you think was the motive for this?
Well, I think basically it's, Trudeau Liberals are so unpopular, and Pierre Poilievre has done a really good job of tagging the NDP as basically just propping up the Liberals. They have no identity of their own for the most part. They're just there. So Jagmeet Singh and the NDP have to separate themselves from Liberals. Yes, the supply and confidence agreement got them many things, the dental care, the start on farmer care, but it didn't get them much support from the public. Their numbers have remained between 18 and 20%, and that's just not enough to form an alternative government. So we're looking at a change election, and so this is Jagmeet Singh saying, we're the change. Don't look at the Conservatives for the change. We're the change from the Liberals, and we need a change.
Mm-hmm. What about word that we have heard that this could be, Jagmeet Singh trying to kind of prop up his own leadership within his own party, that he had to do something?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's heading into the third election as the leader. And as I say, they're under 20% in the polls, so he's not taking them anywhere. They've lost seats. They gained one in the last election, but lost 20 the one before. So they're in rough shape here. And to carve out their own identity and prove they are different from the Liberals, even though he said some terrible things in breaking up with Justin Trudeau yesterday, but he's still going to support him on a daily or on a issue-by-issue basis. So how do you say all those things about how bad the government is and then turn around and support them? But as I say, with two provincial elections coming up in Saskatchewan and BC that the NDP are going to need all hands on deck for, they're not ready for a federal election at this point.
Where does the Parti Québécois play into this?
Well, I think if Pierre Poilievre wants to move a non-confidence motion, and the PCs are riding really high in the polls, more than twice the Liberal support in some polls, the Bloc Québécois are also in good shape financially, so they might support a PC motion of non-confidence, but that's still not quite enough. They would need the Bloc, the PCs, the Greens, and even one or two independents to get enough to actually defeat the minority Liberal government at this point. So the Liberals are going to need the NDP to keep them going, but the PCs need all the other opposition members basically to try and bring down the government.
Okay, political analyst Keith Leslie, thanks very much for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We should get a Throwback Thursday song from Keith Leslie. I'm assuming.
Yeah, his record collection.
I'm assuming he's got some of that record collection behind him. Thanks for getting up early with us, Keith. All right, let's get into sports. And we had some afternoon baseball down at the Dome as the Blue Jays wrapped up a short two-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies, who beat the Jays Tuesday thanks to 3 home runs by Kyle Schwarber.
And a high fly to right, and he has done it again. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that wasn't a highlight of one of his homers from Tuesday. That was the second pitch of the game yesterday afternoon. From the American League Pitcher of the Month, Blue Jays Bowden Francis, Schwarber parked it into the seats for his 4th home run in 2 games. And the second straight game that he led off the game with a moonshot. One of 2 home runs Francis would give up and 3 runs in 6 innings. He would take the loss as the Phillies sweep the short 2-game series 4-2 the final. Jays have a day off today. They head to Atlanta to face the Braves this weekend. All right, let's go to Paris, where Canada's Nicholas Bennett is having some kind of a Paralympics as he earned his 2nd gold medal of the Games, winning the men's SM14 200-meter individual medley. 20-year-old from BC, who currently holds the world record in this event, did set a Paralympic record. Competing in his 2nd Paralympics, Bennett now has 3 medals in Paris as the first Canadian male swimmer to do so in 2 decades. What a return by world number 1 Yannick Sinner at Arthur Ashe Stadium in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open last night against 2021 Open winner Daniil Medvedev, who he beat to start the Grand Slam season in January at the Aussie Open. He will finish the year hoping for another Grand Slam berth up against Jack Draper in one semifinal, while Americans Francis Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz battle in the other. Not the only American, though, still playing on home soil. Buffalo native Jessica Pegula has finally made her first Grand Slam semifinal as she would shock world number 1 Iga Swiatek, beating her in straight sets and erases an 0-6 record in Grand Slam quarterfinals. She's going to face Karolina Machova in a berth in the Saturday women's final. That will happen later tonight. But what a weekend it could be for the Pegulas, because remember, her parents, they own the Buffalo Bills, who kick off the NFL season at home on Sunday. But the NFL season, it kicks off tonight from the home of the back-to-back Super Bowl champs from Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs coming off a third Super Bowl win in 5 years thanks to their overtime win over the 49ers back in February. They're going to host the Baltimore Ravens to begin the 105th NFL season. By the way, no team in history of the league has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. In fact, no team has actually ever made it to the big game in that third year. Travis Kelce and that girlfriend of his, they're going to be discussed a lot. A lot of other storylines as the league creates leading up to the Super Bowl being played this year in New Orleans coming up on February 9th.
Well, today is the 5th of September. It is a Thursday morning. 6:16 is the time already. 403 on Waterdown Road. Checking traffic. First of all, sun not up for quite a while yet, so no big deal right in your eyes right now. It's slow coming out of Hamilton. It's just building volume. To our MTO traffic camera. Look at that pink in the sky in the distance there. Nothing on the road, of course. Garden City Skyway. The west camera is doing fine. Nikola Tesla Boulevard. We do have some volume going through here. This is just north of North Shore Boulevard, heading toward Fairview Street through all that construction. The Ford plant is a little slow already. At Etobicoke Creek, not a lot happening there. Skies are clear to start the day here, so that bodes well for the day. We're going to have some sunshine later on. 13 is our temperature right now. Winds are light from the south. Relative humidity is right up there at 100%. Air quality risk for today, the low category this morning, but it's going to build in later on today. We're going to see a lot more haze starting in for the afternoon with the increase of the flow from the south and the humidity pushing in. That low pressure system is going to bring us some clouds tonight and then showers, thunderstorms tomorrow. Today, 24 to 27 Niagara, 25, 26, and 27 around the lake. Lovely sunshine, but it'll, as I said, become hazy later on. Clouds roll in overnight, stays on the mild side, 15, 16 to 18 degrees depending on where you are. And then tomorrow, it's showers, thunderstorms possible, 10 to 15 millimeters as well. So a little bit of sunshine to start the morning, but then we'll see that instability pushing in with the showers and thunderstorms that are actually going to stick around as we get into the weekend. But out the door, 5th of September already, skies clear, on the cool side, about 13. Long range coming up. Annette, Tim.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Well, coming up right after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat.
Also in the business news, the Insurance Bureau of Canada, they're reporting the most challenging summer on record for damage from natural disasters.
And a very good morning to Emily.
Yes, Miss, it's my Friday today.
It is my Friday. I know I've got a bit of a long weekend coming up, but
good for you.
We all have to take vacation at some point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Coming up in Chit Chat, we are talking about Ray Gunn, that famous breakdancer. She's apologizing. We'll tell you for what coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about Brian May. He suffered a stroke, so we will discuss how he's doing.
Okay. I bet you we got Tiff in there too, because that kid's going to.
Oh, we will.
Tonight.
7 o'clock hour.
Awesome. Okay. We'll see you in a bit over at the couch. Let's get into business news. And up first, the biz boards. The Canadian dollar gained 4 basis points this morning, trading just under 74 cents U.S. Gold is up more than $12. There's the board for you, sitting at 25.38.40 an ounce. Crude oil up 52 cents, 69.72 a barrel. Should we go to Europe? Yeah, let's do that. Morning, Europe. Stocks are up in London and Frankfurt, but down slightly in Paris.
In Asia, the markets were down today in Tokyo and Hong Kong, up a little bit in Shanghai. Checking North American markets, the TSX lost just 1 point. Very small losses, actually, on Wall Street as well.
Hey, we got one business story for you on this Thursday. Canada saw a record number of insurance claims this summer. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says it was driven by 4 major weather events and natural disasters over the span of 4 weeks. After flooding in southern Ontario and Quebec, the Jasper wildfire, and the Calgary hailstorm, it says the industry is addressing around 228,000 claims, a 406% increase compared with the previous 20-year average. The Bureau calls this the most challenging summer ever for those impacted by storms and wildfires. Back in 2023, insurers right across the country reported 160,000 claims with over $3.1 billion in damage.
Okay, quick break right now. Brian is back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast right after this.
6:25. Good morning. A quick check on traffic. Garden City Skyway. That's one of the skyways. That's the Garden City Skyway East. We'll check the other skyway. Now that is a different story. As you can see, we're getting pretty slow going over the top, heading down toward North Shore Boulevard. That's just normal. Ooh, as you can see, then the other side as well is getting a bit busy across the skyway. Check our temperatures right now as we say good morning. Mohawk College. There we are. 13 degrees Hamilton, 15 Grimsby, 16, 19 Mississauga to Toronto. Seasonals for an overnight low now. 12 degrees, so we're a little bit above seasonal. 22 for the daytime high. We beat that handily yesterday, and we'll do it again today. Sun times and records for today. For school today, 17 by the first bell. Coming home later on, 26 degrees. Just a gorgeous day today, and that's the high. It'll get hazy later on today. Humidex of 29. 15 becoming cloudy overnight. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms possible during the day, maybe 10 to 15 millimeters. Cooler at 22. Showers linger Saturday, linger again on Sunday, 17, and then only 13 on Sunday. Cloudy again for Monday, but some sun for the middle of next week. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Okay, here it is, the 5th of September, and already we are thinking about Halloween costumes.
Okay, so I thought you were going to say Christmas. So
No,
I'm okay with Halloween.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Chipotle has teamed up with Spirit Halloween to offer a burrito-themed costume collection. This makes me hungry. It includes bodysuits that resemble a Chipotle napkin, a fork, a water cup,
fork.
Okay, a burrito, and a takeout bag. Okay. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Is it easy to breathe in those things? You ever worn one of those things?
No.
No, you're not a big bodysuit, full bodysuit person?
No, I am not.
You guys don't do that on the weekends or anything like that? You know?
It's very private information.
sorry to intrude.
And ours have ears.
Oh, boy. Oh, goodness. Okay, we got to go. Half hour down. Oh, more shenanigans on this Thursday, September the 5th. See you in a couple.